growth is not linear, it's cyclical. Okay? Most of us approach spiritual growth with a hidden assumption. If I'm doing it right, I should always be progressing. But that's not how transformation works. It doesn't move in a straight line as much as we might long for it to. Instead, it moves in cycles. Awareness, breakthrough, peace, trigger, resurfaced old pattern, deeper awareness, new surrender, and renewal, right? So not failure, formation. Like waves on the shore, move forward, pull back, move forward, pull back, move forward. And each wave shapes you more deeply than the last.
With God, there is always more. More love, more life, more freedom. Welcome to Zoe's Exploring More with Michael Thompson. C.S. Lewis once wrote, "Our Heavenly Father has provided many delightful ends for us along our journey, but He takes great care to see that we do not mistake any of them for home." Join me and the team as we explore the kingdom together, discovering the deep truths and offering encouragement for the journey. There is always more.
Welcome, friends and allies, to the Exploring More podcast. Michael Thompson hanging out with SJ Jennings, my author friend. Alias
I'm in the club.
The alias is Scott D. Jennings. And this is the book he wrote, The Life You Built, Loosening the Grip of What's False and Embracing What's True. And there it is, Amazon and other popular retailers. Are you going to read this are you going to do audio?
Yeah, at some point.
Yeah, that's fun, man. I
can't wait, actually.
It's a great experiment, truly. And maybe Serena can hook you up or find another way if you want.
Mm-hmm.
We finished, we're in this 4-part series. We finished really looking at some more of Section 3 and into the Enneagram, and which I thought was great. Anything we want to say about that before we turn the page?
Yeah. Just a quick couple of personal stories. I'd love for you to share too, just how this looked, how the Enneagram helped you.
Oh, I don't do the Enneagram.
Oh, okay.
It's voodoo.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I think the biggest thing that came out of the Enneagram for me.
I love it. I think it's extremely helpful, and
Yeah.
I fully support the exploration of
Even
that
utilize it in
as
your
a
counseling,
tool.
right?
Yeah. Oh man, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I have found nothing but consistent. Oh my goodness.
Mm-hmm. That makes so much sense.
And for a marriage to read, to exchange these, I love watching that happen.
It's great.
And go, huh. And the tendency to try to make somebody see everything like I do as a one.
Yeah.
That's exhausting.
Yeah.
The chameleon that we talked about last week, that's exhausting.
Yeah.
Trying to control everyone to see the world the way I do, very freeing from that.
Yeah, my version of that is trying to manage and limit the amount of energy I feel about things so that people don't think I'm too much for them. That's the
so
type
funny
8.
because I would say as a one, I'm not enough.
Mm-hmm.
I'm always in the proverbial carrot is in front of me.
Oh man,
And,
if I could tell you the number of times people said, "What are you so mad about?" I'm really not.
I know that I have been able to say that on a couple occasions.
Yeah, and sometimes it's
You okay?
Sometimes I'm mad,
Yeah.
but it doesn't mean I don't get mad.
Yeah.
But I'm not mad all the time.
Yeah.
I'm not the Hulk.
Yeah.
I'm not, and there's just it's part of navigating it all. But so it's just interesting to feel like I could, as a type 8, put words to the energy that I feel, and rather than there probably was a time that I would even have said and agreed with the idea that I was just angry all the time. because I didn't know any better. I didn't know how to interpret it any differently. Passion, intensity, whatever you want to call it. So I just bought into the lie that I got an anger problem. So deal with it.
Yeah.
And that shaped my behavior for a while, So to be able to see the nuance behind it and, God's glory in how he created, type 8s, but also the rest of the numbers on the Enneagram and see the glory that he's imbued me with. And it just was so helpful.
Yeah.
And actually it felt initially, I went to tears a few times reading about it, And I would say, too, one of the dangers of the Enneagram is we have a tendency to when it's new, to be like, oh, that's just your type 1 coming out, Michael, blah, 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 and using it, kind of weaponize it in a way.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't do that. So it's really not helpful. And it actually, what it does is it promotes the idea of using your Enneagram type as another false self mask.
Yeah. And holding people in their box,
right.
Because nobody ever says, oh man, that's good one stuff there, bro. That is good one stuff. It's always used in there's the one.
Yeah, there's the type 1, the perfectionist,
right. Which, as you asked me,
which I like the improver better. By the way.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. That's the answer to my question. And part of that, SJ, is, I have some hyper-vigilant practices, right? What are the patterns? What are the practices? And there's a good side of that, and there's not a good side of that. And as a 1, an improver, that can be very, very helpful when my opinion's asked or I'm invited. But
because you always have one to share.
Because I always have one to share.
So do we.
How we can make that.
So we all do.
How we can make that a little bit better.
Mm-hmm.
And yet it also, I would say, I probably wouldn't have been a firefighter, but I would have been somehow, some way, in the forestry department as a fire preventer. That's just one of the ways that it shows for me. It's so forward thinking sometimes, which can be very, very helpful to guiding a team, to looking at the linear steps that need to take place sequentially for this to happen. Mm-hmm. And where any of this stuff can get you in trouble, right, is to be so forward thinking I'm not present.
Right.
You
forget about the dashboard.
To be critical of people who don't think that way. Mm-hmm. And even upset with people who I'm trying to help them see it, right? And when you look at these other 8 Enneagram types, there's a few that have a propensity to that kind of way of seeing the world and living in the world. But for me, the dangerous part was it was so that I wouldn't get hurt. How can I improve on it so that I won't be criticized? How can I improve on it so that that you'll like?
I'm going to think so far out ahead of things.
I'll eliminate
that you will never have the opportunity to say, Michael, did you think about this?
Yeah.
And then I would say no.
When I was unhealthy, those were rival words.
Right.
What, you don't think I've thought of all of this, every option?
Yeah.
Or in a cheeky way, when somebody says something that I've already thought through from A to Z and back. Oh, that's a good idea. Yeah.
That's a great idea.
Yeah, thanks for your contribution. Mm-hmm. And I remember, the unhealthy part, when I was writing Heart of a Warrior, I've told you the story where I was in the Dallas airport going somewhere to speak or share with some guys, and Bob was working with me on it, and he said, "Can I talk to you about something? There's this part of your writing where you get on these runs, and it just seems like, especially biblically, theologically, you're trying to make sure that nobody's going to challenge you.
And it was the contrast with the way that you beautifully guide.
Right.
Because you're beautifully guiding the reader, and then it's like you hit this red light.
Yes.
I have to prove to you why what I guided you through is true.
And I do not want to be questioned.
Right.
Not by the likes of you.
Yeah.
2 through 9.
Yeah.
Or other ones or whatever. And man, I was
arresting.
I was literally
moment.
on an escalator. You know when you don't walk off an escalator, but it stops, and you.
Yeah.
I mean, that's how. When Bob said that to me, I was like, "Whoa." He's experienced that. He's. I knew he was right. I was in a posture of receiving rather than it being criticism. I knew my friend cared for me and was wanting the best for this and for me as a writer. And yeah, it was one of those gifts that was a little prickly, but I feel like as a one, my motivation center and the corrosion that had developed there got discovered,
unearthed,
and unveiled, and it was very inviting, as opposed to indicting. It's like, I can't hide it in my writing.
Right.
It just kind of flows that way.
Yeah.
And I feel like
if someone challenged you in a conversation about that, you could rebut or defend, or
if I was in a good place, I hopefully now I could, and it happens, you know, from time to time.
Or what I mean is, like, if someone's trying to reveal that at the time in a conversation, you had the option, but in writing, it just comes out, man. Like, there's a pattern into your writing that just it shows up.
Yeah. We were in a conversation.
You can't hide there.
We were in a conversation earlier about you, me, and Sherry, about some chores and missions around the next 60 to 90 days. And we were talking about, I was unveiling some things I'd been kind of carrying around and wanted you guys to help me see it and carry it too. And those are really tricky for me. You know, you've learned really over time, you know, sometimes it's just kind of, let me let him finish, you know, and then even still, when you make a suggestion or give a comment, it can be tricky for me not to feel defensive. In the past, it was not a trick. It was this gravitational pull, you know, and then what I was going to say and how this relates to this morning's conversation is how much words matter to me. And I'm a literalist. And so when somebody says something and I run it through my dictionary and thesaurus, is that what you meant to say?
Yeah.
Because
you want to tell you a story about that happened this morning?
With me, you and me?
With me and Sherry.
Oh, yes, please. This is somebody else. This is not me. Yeah.
Yeah. So we were riding to work, and I knew we were going to have this conversation. And Sherry said, I think I need to talk to Michael. I really don't want to rush into this development season of summer development campaign. And I said, okay, stop right there. Did you mean to say rush? Because if you say rush to Michael, you need to mean that you think he's rushing.
That's what it means. That's what it would have meant. Nice lifeguarding there, bro.
You like that?
Fire prevention. I do. I feel known.
I said, unless you mean to tell Michael that it sounds like he's rushing into it, don't say it that way.
I am a master and a disaster when it comes to inferring what people mean and intention. I told you I'm hyper vigilant about that. Yeah. So,
and you've gotten and are getting better.
But
I can almost, we've been together long enough, I can almost watch it happening. I can see the gears start
there's this one
there's
scar.
A little bit of a line right there.
It's right there. Yeah, it looks like somebody really cut me right there. It's so furrowed in there now. But yeah, man, I mean, I think that's it. It matters. and things have a tendency of mattering greatly. Even things that shouldn't matter greatly, can matter way too much when it gets into.
So that is a perfect segue
Go
into
ahead.
this section of the book where we talk about relationships, section 4, and navigating the waters of you can adopt a position in a relationship of, why does that matter so much to you? That's silly. That's a little thing. Well, not to you, it isn't.
Right.
And
even how you ask that, when you put the other phrases on there, I'll go right into, wait, well, what do I either one or two? What do I need to do to help you understand it, or what did you just say to me? So have we taken a break?
We can.
Okay,
Yeah,
let's
we
take
haven't
a
taken
break. Let's take a break,
Yeah.
and we'll be right back with some more zany, crazy goodness from The Life You Built by Scott D. Jennings. But we'll see you in a minute. We'll be right back. Welcome back to the Exploring More podcast, and let's just jump right back. You had a thought.
Well, just, as you are, I felt like it was important in the book to bring up relationships, because even if you're not married, you still have relationships, right? So the marriage relationship is one of many. And as you are investigating your false self, arriving at a place where you're starting to see it, learning how to break free from it and embrace what's more true about you, what's really true about you, you start to operate differently. There's no doubt about it. And it affects your relationships. Yeah. So I'm on the phone with a guy the other day, and he was telling me about his an interaction he had with his brother. And I said, well, that feels different to you because you're changing. And how you would have handled it before out of your false self is very different than the way that you move towards it now, because you're getting more free from your false self. Yeah. And he's like, whoa. Like, yeah. Chapter 13 is the new you, why you're not sure who you are anymore. Like, we have lived this way out of our false selves for so long. When we start to break free from it, it can feel a little foreign. And there's nothing like a relationship, especially a marriage relationship, to provoke the false self. Yeah. But also, the flip side of that coin is there's nothing like a close relationship like marriage to invite the true self. Yeah. So, have you ever heard someone say, in the context of counseling, or maybe you've even felt this way, like, I feel like we're having the same argument over and over and over again?
Oh, man.
So, pretty common stuff.
Cycles, sure.
Absolutely. Pretty common stuff. Yeah. Well, I absolutely, Sherry and I had the same argument for 10 plus years over and over again. And our marriage finally broke because we didn't know what else to do. Now we understand, like, if you want to break out of that pattern of having the same fight over and over and over again, something has to change. There has to be a variable that's different moving into that. Yeah. And as you get free from your false self, you bring more of your true self into it. You have the ability to break that cycle, because the way it's been rolling, right? Yeah. And if you throw something off balance, and that sounds like a negative thing, but you can throw a negative cycle off balance by bringing more of your true self into that cycle. And then once it's off balance, it has the chance to fly apart. Yeah. Yeah, when moving through the process of shedding your false self and embracing your true self, you really have a great opportunity in the relationships in your life to have even more of a fine point put on it, or more of what needs to be dealt with highlighted.
Yeah, it's difficult when you embark on this work and exploration and your partner isn't.
Oh, yeah.
And so one of the things that we've talked about in working with couples and even and it can be siblings, it can be relationships that matter, it can be the cycle of father and son. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of different dynamics that can be very revealing. And when you're trying to do this work, and yet you're with or still affected or impacted by somebody that you might not be married to them, but it's your dad, it's your mom, it's one of your children. It can be very difficult to stay the course because the slow, steady work. I feel like it's like a mission trip. When you go on a mission trip and you come back, you've experienced something significant, and now you're trying to tell everybody through slides and pictures, how it was, and you want them to be as engaged in the work that you did and the things that you saw and what you discovered.
One of the guys in the circle said that yesterday about the encounter weekend, and you're all excited about it. Yeah.
So that
coming back,
that's tricky because, but if you can stay the course, like I like the throwing it off balance, how you trained each other to fight. Yeah. How you trained each other to the defensiveness, that's required to fight.
Yeah, the response.
Yeah.
Right. Or the reaction.
And you don't react that way
anymore. Sherry did that to me.
Yep. It can be a very powerful invitation, subtle and powerful. The other part I thought about was when we work with couples, I know we say this to them, are you going to be okay if they get better?
If they get okay, yeah.
And everybody's answer is yes. Everybody's answer is yes. But about half the time I would say,
nope.
No. They because they're contributing often to the reinforcement of the false self. That's how the training has affected in relationships. So when somebody starts behaving and talking and acting differently, this can be unsettling.
Oh yeah, very much so.
Took me years to train her to be that way.
Oh man.
Took me years for him to, and I don't like it. But now that he's becoming something different, I don't know what to do, and I don't like that.
I used to say it this way, man. The visual, the metaphor is if you're on a seesaw, and one person just jumps off.
Yeah, kaboom.
There's no back and forth anymore. There's no teeter-tottering anymore. It takes two, right? So if you're doing this back and forth and one of you just jumps off, I remember that with Sherry. I remember when she started to latch on to God and became a Christian, and her behavior changed, and I would go to provoke her.
Yeah. That's exactly right.
And she was just unflappable, would not be moved.
Yeah.
Like none of it worked anymore. I was like, well, now what do I do? It was wild.
Yep.
One of the things too, the chapter 15, that I opened it up to this, in the context of relationship, the false self interprets behavior of the other person. The false self interprets, the true self gets curious. So what I mean by that is really when conflict arises, the false self will interpret your spouse's behavior through fear and questions like, how do I protect myself? How do I win this? How do I prove my point? How do I stop feeling unsafe? All those things that your false self provided you with, right? When you created it, or it was created for you, or a little bit of both.
Yeah.
The things that you were trying to arrange for. Well, then you add in the context of a marriage or any other relationship, really, this other person who's going to provoke some of those feelings that you created this false self to protect yourself from, right?
Yeah.
So you go into this interpretation of what their motivation is behind their behavior, and it provokes your false self. But the true self stays curious because it's not grounded in protection. It's not trying to arrange for safety.
Yeah.
It's just the true self. So it asks a different set of questions. What might be happening in them right now? What are they protecting? What fear is driving their behavior? What do they need right now, right? And I would not recommend going, if you're in a fight with your wife,
saying those.
What fear is driving your behavior right now, Sherry?
What are you protecting yourself from? Me?
Knock my teeth out. But to stay open, there is a way to move in that space and stay open and curious and keep your false self at bay.
Yeah.
Right? And stay grounded in your true self, because we've said it many times. There's kind of a little chart that we show at the weekends, right? In a relationship, there's 4 different options in terms of the interaction of the true self and the false self.
Do it with us.
Yeah. So it's false self, and that's not good.
That's bad.
That's
bad news.
Right. You can be operating out of your true self, and I might be still operating out of my false. Vice versa, I might be operating out of my true self. You're operating in your false self. And then the really nice one is when we're true self, true self.
Yeah.
And like you've said many times, 3 out of 4 of those are.
And everybody says negative.
Bad. Yeah.
Bad.
Right.
Yep.
Because the false self is present. But it's actually 3 out of 4 of them have a chance because the true self is there, right? So that's my point in this. If you can stay curious, you can't, in my observation, in my experience, you can't stay curious and be closed-hearted.
Yeah, it's a great point.
It keeps your heart open.
Open, yeah.
Right? To the idea that maybe this isn't about me, whatever's coming up. It's certainly affecting me.
Yep.
But so I want to stay kind and open and curious and gentle and say, tell me what's really going on.
Yeah. This person I was telling you about, I think, was it last episode? Yeah. So the contrast is curious as opposed to?
Interpreting, which is really another way of saying accusatory.
Predicting.
Yeah, right.
Predicting's another one.
Right.
This person that I was telling you about, that's the default. They think that they need to predict and interpret beforehand so they can get their explanation.
Yep. Answer ready.
Or and it's driving their significant other crazy. No, how do you know I didn't say that? How do you even? Why do you think I'm thinking that? What is? Right? What are you talking about?
Where does that
I
come from?
didn't mean that at all.
Which is defensive.
Yeah, but that's the person saying that to the interpreter, who is, let me tell you what you're thinking. I know what you're thinking.
Yeah.
And instead of being curious, that's what it sounds like. Well, I know what you meant.
Yep.
No, you're like 1 for 5 on interpretive skills. And so here's another one that you missed. And if you would just ask me, I would tell you. But instead, you want to tell me how I am thinking and feeling. And we talked about this in the Father Matter series at length. This is one of my favorite concepts about curiosity versus interpretation or that idea that, I don't want to tell you and be, I don't want to tell my kids what to think and feel. I want to understand and be curious about why they think and feel the way they think and feel.
Yeah.
And I think that's just a beautiful way to what does it look like to be curious and to catch yourself when well, I know what you're thinking, or I know what you meant by that, or I know 4 out of 5 dentists say no. You don't.
Where's that fifth dentist? Where is he?
Yeah.
Yeah, man. 100%.
So very, very important.
Let me read a story out of the book about this. There was a season in my marriage where Sherry and I kept circling the same argument. Same topic, same tone, same outcome. It was around one of the most challenging subjects for a married couple to sort out: finances. Every time it came up, I felt misunderstood. Every time I defended myself. Every time I walked away frustrated, and so did Sherry. It wasn't until I slowed down, truly slowed down, that I could see we weren't arguing about the issue. We were arguing from our wounds. I wasn't reacting to what was happening in the moment. I was reacting to an old fear. She's not trusting me with our money, so she doesn't trust me at all, which means she thinks I'm not capable.
Right.
And I must not be. And Sherry was trying to control the situation, protecting herself from a different fear. He's not handling our money properly, and I'm about to be blamed for it. I can't be seen as being wrong and out of control. It took a while to see that truth, but once we did, the tone shifted. Not instantly and not perfectly, but compassion was allowed to enter the room, and compassion can change everything.
Yeah, but it's not when it's not available, it's not available.
Right. And for
curiosity, compassion.
For years, it was not available.
Yeah. What I love about let's go back to progression. If you can't be compassionate and caring for your own heart, it's just about impossible.
Yeah, you can't give what you don't have.
To be concerning, caring, in the health for others, and so that's part of this false self.
Yeah, and in God's economy, He wants that love and that knowledge and that security to flow to you, so it can flow through you, right?
Yeah.
And if you're just feeling like, well, I just need it to come to me.
Yeah.
I need it. It just needs to come to me. Then, you're probably not going to get it. Yeah, or you're going to get some kind of false version of it.
Man, you can memorize the fruits of the Spirit all day. Mm-hmm. But if they're not available to you, they're not available to you. Mm-hmm. And this is the work. Why is that not available to me?
That's right. Rather than just making a statement, ask the question.
You should be, yes. So I've got a question for you.
Yeah.
How many people do you think have divorced their partner? The divorce is about divorcing their false self. They divorced from that person's false self.
Yeah, almost all of them. I mean, maybe there's a few where a guy, like we're talking about, comes to an awakening, starts operating more out of his false self, is getting free from some things, and then the spouse says, "Yeah, you're going a place I don't want to go."
That we know
that happens.
A few of those,
but it's more frequent.
Mm-hmm.
It's I would say 98%.
Yeah, both people divorce each other's false self.
That Sherry and I did for sure.
Yeah, I think it's up there to 9 out of 10.
Maybe, yeah. I said 98, which is 9.8 out of 10.
That's 9.8. Yeah, I do. I think it can be. I still have this theory you've heard me say where I do think when we're dating and courting and that we have the ability to put this best foot forward.
Yeah, it's a nice looking false self.
Or it could be your true self.
It could be.
It could. You can actually overrun your selfishness or your ways
your
of
woundedness
of either getting for yourself or protecting.
Can be suppressed.
And you're you're more open. You're more curious. The dates are longer. They're conversational, right? And so that false self is behind.
It's bound
in the back, in the back of in the corner, but it's not going to stay there. Mm-mm. And I think that's
because you're going to let your guard down.
That's why we get married, we go down the aisle, and They're different. He doesn't do that anymore. She doesn't do that anymore. You know, the good stuff gives way, and that's my explanation for it. You know, this false self can go dormant. You can shake hands. New job interview. We get good. It happens all the time.
Yeah.
It happens all the time. SJ.
Yeah.
Hired him. Looked good on paper. All the team really liked this person.
Who's this guy now? 3 months in.
Yeah.
Where'd this guy come from? What happened to the guy I interviewed?
What in the world? What happened? You know, and
That's a great point.
I think that's how, in a bit of an extreme way, but I think in a very tangible way, this stuff can, you know, have its shifts, he can be kind until he stops being kind and is playing the old tapes. Well, if I do this for you, then you're going to do this for me, right? Whoa.
Right. He can be kind until his false self is provoked.
Yeah.
Yeah. And when you're new in a relationship,
And you can be gracious and even forgiving when that is provoked.
the first few times.
Until it is the patterns come back, the systems get moving, and you mentioned it. And no, I didn't break those things. I just hid those things.
Yeah.
Or they, you know, they went behind. And if the enemy's involved in all this, it's brilliant. It's just a brilliant tactic to use this in the context of relationships. If we're made for relationships, this is the crazy.
Yeah.
This is the way to infiltrate and then reinforce the crazy from foundational and early years, from all the things that can get in. And I'm watching it. Most marriages, we take them back to boyhood and girlhood.
Oh yeah.
And what happened?
Yeah. Story timelines.
We don't want to go all the way back there. We're talking about our marriage. No, I'm talking about your marriage.
Yeah.
What did you agree to? What wounds and vows and agreements, like we've taught for years, and where this false self comes from?
Yeah.
You don't mess with these symptoms. You try to really get after
you don't investigate. The symptoms are just a place to start in terms of...
Yes, they're showing you something's not right.
But they're the product of a deeper issue.
Yep. And when we get
just like a fever is not what you're trying to figure out.
I think it's a very, very, very extensive reality these days. It's because we're not talking about runny noses and coughs. You know, we're talking about deep, deep emotional pain that manifests itself in panic attacks, still symptoms,
pornography,
body euphoria,
dysphoria. That's what you meant.
Yes, euphoria. Words matter. I just said that. Yeah, that's so funny.
I think that's what you meant.
That's what I think. That word does not mean what you think it means. Princess Bride.
We talked a lot with in our Father Matters series about children, but I had to put a chapter about them in here.
Yeah.
And I said, if marriage can expose your false self, parenting puts it full on display. Like you've said it before, the Magic Kingdom is the most wounding place on the planet.
Disney.
Yeah.
Oh man, yeah. I mean, wonderful.
A bunch of ventriloquist dads running around. What are you doing? You know.
Wonderful and awful. Yeah.
Oy, oy, oy. Yeah.
Yeah. The last couple thoughts that I want to touch on. It isn't about getting it right. It's about learning how to return. Do you want to expand on that a little bit?
Yeah. So earlier in the book, I talked about how this opportunity for healing and getting free from the false self and embracing your true self is not a one and done.
Yeah. You're talking about returning to the process then.
Right. I call it riding the wave. It's it's like, I love the ocean. I'm a water guy, grew up around it and all of that. So just the metaphor of, the waves coming in and the waves going out. So you're moving forward in this, and then you're pulling back.
Yeah.
And then you're moving forward again. The old way of saying it is two steps forward, 3 steps back. Well, I don't really love that.
Yeah.
Because that means eventually you end up,
progression
going
or
backwards, regression.
Yeah, regression.
Yeah.
Progression or regression.
But the just riding the wave back and forth of understanding that you didn't get here to this place where you're false self-dominant overnight. You've been living this way a long time. So undoing it is not going to happen, like a finger snap in a moment. Now, you might have revelatory moments that are a finger snap, where God just reveals it, heals it, and it's done, right? But even then, you have to learn how to walk newly.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
practice.
Just the encouragement that this is a journey.
Yeah.
I want to encourage folks that pick up the book. It's not a book that you're reading like a story cover to cover. It's really designed to be a guide in this process, where you learn how to see it, you learn where it came from, you learn how to break free from it, you learn what the true self of you, a part of you is, and how to operate out of that.
Yep.
And then you move on to the next part that needs to be chipped off of you.
Yeah. You know what? I want to, 2 things. I'd love for you to find that Riding the Wave, and read those couple paragraphs. I don't think you've read that.
Sure.
In a minute. If you to close, I'd love for you to read to close. Secondly, I think about, man, what if there was an app that was like internally on with you? It would be like Google Maps. Turn in 1/2 mile.
Yeah, in 900 feet, make a left turn.
Yeah,
turn,
and then it's turn around, get the next exit. To get back on track. I mean, that's the practice I think that you're alluding to, is how do you, if you're using Google Maps in an environment that you're actually now going to live in, hopefully you're not after living there a year having to put in Google Maps. Now, Robin likes to put on Google Maps no matter where we go.
Yeah.
Because she wants to see.
It'll give me traffic info.
She wants to see that, which
Yeah.
I get that. And, I know how to get there. It's going to be fine. But at the same time, I think, to have that internal app with this idea of, can I learn the directions that it's giving me? Can I be willing to even subject my heart to this ongoing analysis?
Yeah.
Without being critical, but
just moving this way.
But just moving this way is, like I said about my friend, that's not been available. And I'm hopeful that as you close us out with Riding the Wave, that I'm hopeful that for anyone who would pick up this book, it would be, it'd be an invitation to, because we all want freedom.
Yeah.
How do you get there?
Right.
This is one of the books that I feel like is, this is a how, not a how-to, but this is a how. This is a how you want to move, how you want to see, how you want to progress. And you have to see the stuff that's in the way.
Yeah.
And until you do, you just keep living with the symptoms.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's not going to be good.
Yeah, man. Well, thank you for
so
that.
here's the process. I love this Riding the Wave.
Growth is not linear, it's cyclical. Okay. Most of us approach spiritual growth with a hidden assumption. If I'm doing it right, I should always be progressing. But that's not how transformation works. It doesn't move in a straight line as much as we might long for it to. Instead, it moves in cycles. Awareness, breakthrough, peace, trigger, resurfaced old pattern, deeper awareness, new surrender, and renewal, right? So not failure, formation. Like waves on the shore, move forward, pull back, move forward, pull back, move forward. And each wave shapes you more deeply than the last, right? So what it practically looks like, let's put practical language to this. The trigger, something happens that touches an old wound. The reaction, your false self leaps into action, defend, withdraw, please, control, numb, explain, disappear. The awareness, you pause, even if it's hours later, and notice this is an old pattern. This is my false self. The curiosity, what is this reaction trying to protect? And then compassion comes.
Hopefully. Oh, yes.
You gently say,
critical.
It's okay. I see why I did that. I see why I do that. Right? We started this whole thing with you have to become aware of what's going on.
Awake and aware, right.
And then you remember the truth. I'm not that wounded child anymore. I'm not that powerless adult. I'm not who I was. I am different. I am different. The practice is you choose a small, honest action aligned with your true self. It might be letting yourself feel something you've been avoiding, or speaking a truth that you've been holding back, right? For example, in my story, my dad was not available to me. It took me years to say that, right? But it's true. And then the last part is peace. The peace returns, not because you did it perfectly, but because you did it consciously.
Yeah.
That's riding the wave.
Yeah. That's riding the wave.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, man. So I really have loved talking about it, and I appreciate, you making the invitation to chat about it here on the Explore More podcast. It's been good. Yeah,
it has been good. It is good. And I think, these are one of a volume of volumes, of work that that we're trying to shape here at Zoe for the hearts of men and women. What is the Zoe life? What is this life to the full? How do you get there? I heard it's available. And so in, a couple hundred pages, this will help.
Yeah.
There's a perspective and a process that's really needed to live wholehearted, to live fully alive, and to be less of a casualty and victim. And I think the life you built and those who contributed to its building is a place story work that has to be entered into. And if this is your first podcast series journey with us, we got 500 other ones. And it's not that we're saying the same thing over and over again, but it is a body of work, a series of consciousness and revelations and discoveries, and then this part of if the objective is to ride the wave rather than to be
swamped by
it, then hopefully this will be if it's a beginning or if it's an addition to already a series of work for our friends that we've known for a while, who I know they're loving it, and I know they love you, and I know the reviews and things will continue to progress. And so, yeah, I want to encourage anyone to get their hands on this and to let it get its hands on them,
right.
and just consider what is this inviting me to see, and what is Scott D. Jennings inviting me to be in the kingdom, in the economy of God. And I think this is a great map with a compass and some very important markers. So well done, bro.
Thanks, man.
Super well done.
Thanks.
Yeah, man.
Thanks.
So, yeah, you can pick it up on Amazon.
Lifeybuilt.com.
Yep.
Yeah.
I think we're in the process of finding in our own outpost.
Yeah.
Getting
Yep.
it
We
all
are. We are
situated
for sure.
there.
Yeah. I'm posting content all the time on Insta. Also, the Life You Built.
Following.
Yeah, at the Life You Built. Mm-hmm.
Yep, the Life You Built. And
so if you want to follow along there, you can.
Yeah. Facebook?
No, not so much. Just on Instagram.
Okay.
Yeah, you can find my page on Facebook, but
you can find
Scott Douglas Jennings.
You can find all my
Facebook.
works on. That's funny. All right, good stuff, man. Hey, thank you for being with us on the Exploring More podcast. I hope your summer's going well, and we've got a lot of things teed up for the fall, and opportunities, resources, environments that we're excited about. So until the next time, we'll see you from the Exploring More podcast.
We hope you have enjoyed this episode of Exploring More. The landing page for this podcast is zoe.org/podcast. That's ZOWEH.org/podcast, where you can find the show notes and various platforms to which we broadcast. You can also find us and the Life of More by visiting Zoe on YouVersion Bible app, Right Now Media, our Facebook page, and Zoe on Instagram and Twitter. Remember, with God there is always more, and you were made for more.